They're second in the league in terms of assist to turnover ratio. That's a direct reflection of Chris Paul taking care of the ball, orchestrating offense, and allowing his team to get quality looks at the bucket.
What's poppin'? Welcome to another edition of Real or Fake, Phoenix Suns edition. We know this is very near and dear to Raja Bell's heart. They're back. They're a top 3 seed in the Western Conference. They're better than any team that Raja played on. Any team that Raja played on in Phoenix. Let's go to their biggest strength, which is...
It's trash.
I believe their depth.
That's trash.
I believe their depth.
First of all, that's trash.
What?
That's trash. This is a trash intro. It's a trash intro. They're not better than any team. They're not. I love them. They're not. Continue. Carry on. To use a big friend of the show, carry on.
My biggest strength for the Phoenix Suns is something that, by and large, Raja's teams didn't have very much of. Is their depth. They have a lot of dudes, from Torrey Craig to Crowder to Mikal Bridges, friend of the show. They have a lot of depth on their roster. And that's something that you need going into the postseason, man. You need a lot of dudes. We know that the rotations get stripped when you go down to the postseason, but you do need extra dudes to go around a Devin Booker, who hasn't been to a postseason yet, to go around a lot of your star players. And so I'm going to go with their depth. Their depth
is phenomenal, but I'm going to say like their ability, not just to score the ball, because they're well-rounded. They shoot it well. They're one of the top 10 teams in both offensive and defensive efficiency too, but they're better offensively. They're one of the leaders in the league in terms of field goal percentage. Like they get high quality shots. They shoot a high percentage with that depth that you're having. And then in terms of assist, they're second in the league in terms of assist to turnover ratio. That's a direct reflection of Chris Paul taking care of the ball, orchestrating offense, and allowing his team to get quality looks at the bucket. So their strength for me would be their ability to get quality looks at the bucket and their ability to shoot and knock down those quality looks.
I would agree with that. I've really been high on the Phoenix Suns in general from the beginning of the season. Did not know they were going to be a number 2 seed as we talk about this right now. I did not know they were going to be this good. But biggest weakness.
Well, I think their biggest weakness is going to be experience. I've talked about this before, and I know Chris Paul helps with that. And, Jay Crowder helps with that. And Torrey Craig helps with that. But Devin Booker's never been in this situation. Deandre Ayton's never been in this situation. Mikal Bridges has never been in this situation. They have a lot of guys who are unproven in these moments. Now, I'm not saying they can't prove themselves and do it, but usually it takes a little bit of seasoning. It takes a little bit of experience in those moments to really be able to, contribute the way you need to win championships. And so if I have to pick a weakness, and you're asking me to, I'm going to pick their overall experience.
That is also mine. No, it's written right here. Lack of experience as a unit. And that's going to put more pressure on Chris Paul in these situations. When the game is on the line, you're going to want to put it in Chris Paul's hands. And that's something that, in the postseason, he has been up and down, quite frankly, as a playmaker down the stretch of games. He has had high highs. You talk about the first round of the 2015 playoffs when he beat the Spurs on a bum hamstring. Or then you talk about Oklahoma City in the postseason where he just fumbled the game because of what he does. So he has a bit of an up and down reputation as a clutch playmaker. And I just think that they're just a year away, quite frankly. Mm-hmm. I think that they're just, one more year of experience, 1 year of heartbreak. And I think that they can be a factor, but lack of experience is really going to weigh on them. Let's get to the Raja Bell Memorial Award, which is for the most important role player. I'm going to go 1, Deandre Ayton. And the reason why I'm going to say him is the most important is because he is a guy that has a lot of potential, but he's great offensively, but they need him to step up post defense. They need him to step up when you have a team like the Lakers with AD and Andre Drummond and all these bigs. They need a big performance this postseason out of Ayton for them to ball out, because if they play him defensively off the floor, this is a really small team. So I'm going to go DeAndre Ayton for my most important role player. What do you think?
It's a great pick. I was looking for somewhere else to go and trying to pivot because it was mine right when you said it. But I could throw another name at you, but it wouldn't be genuine. So I'm going to double down on DeAndre Ayton. He is the most critical part to me outside of obviously Devin Booker doing his job and Chris Paul doing his job. DeAndre Ayton has to do a job. And in the Western Conference, it's even more critical because, you saw what happened to the Suns the other night when Anthony Davis just went off. You've got to deal with the Rudy Goberts of the world. You have to deal with the Nikola Jokic's of the world. Yeah, there are matchups out there that he has to show up for. I'm not saying he's got to win them. He doesn't have to be the best player in the matchup, but he's got to show up. He's got to be there. He can't get rolled in his matchup. And he's relatively young. He's not been in this situation before, and so he's going to be pivotal to their success or lack thereof in this playoffs. He's got to be big.
And that goes back to both of our points of lack of experience as a unit. Ayton has to go through one of these. Quite frankly, these teams have to fail before they shine. And that's just what it is. You have to learn from your mistakes. And I mean, there is a world where Ayton just gets killed defensively, but he learns from it. And that's why I say they're a year away. Maybe he just gets just ripped to shreds by Anthony Davis, and he goes and he has a summer where he's pissed off and he balls out. Or there's a year where he just like, I'm gonna just lock in, and Raja and Logan got me effed up about my defense, and then I'm a ball out. Now, let's get to the award you've all been waiting for. Drum roll. For the Phoenix Suns. Clearly, by and large, better than any Phoenix Suns team you played for. Real or fake?
The news is fake, all right, that you're trying to spew, first of all. I hate using that term but anyway. Fake. They're fake. And I hate to say that. I hate to, because I really, really want them to be able to win a championship this year, but I tend to agree with you that they're a year away. And I know I used the same argument in another segment to support why the Utah Jazz were going to be able to overcome a lack of star power and saying that they're like top 5 in the league in both offensive and defensive efficiency. They're very well rounded. Phoenix is also top 10 in those categories. They're just not as high as the Jazz. But the argument I would make is that the Jazz have gone through this before as a unit, to your point. They went through this last year and had heartbreak. All of those players got the experience of being in the playoffs and seeing what worked and what didn't work, and having this heartbreak that you talked about and this internal hunger and drive over the summer to come back and make adjustments. And I think the Suns are a year away from that. I don't believe them to be real. I think that some of those guys need to have a little bit more seasoning. And even their best players, Chris Paul's got to show me something, and he's been injured in these moments before, and I think that's fair. I think he's more than capable, and he's great. Devin Booker's phenomenal, but he hasn't been in this situation either. This will be new territory for him. So for that reason, I think they're fake.
I'm going to say they are fake as well, but with a caveat. They have a team full of real ones, and they are on the rise, and they are going to be a factor over the next few years. Just Absolutely. Not right now. You need to go through heartbreak before you can shine. And I think that they're going to go through that this postseason.